Hey everyone, we are back at the Minnesota Homestead, and if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you check out the longer video we did a couple weeks ago where I actually show you how to make felted soap. That's a good primer for what we're going to cover today, which is how to add cool patterns to your felted soap. There are a few ways you can add a little bit more pizzazz to your soap, and one of them is post-processing. When you have just finished felting your soap, it's still wet, hasn't dried up and everything like that, and you're going to use a felting needle to adhere some additional felt in a designed pattern. What I want to do here is have a couple of streaks of white roving just running across. So I have pulled my roving out. I'm going to get it slightly wet. And I'm gonna lay it over my felted soap in the kind of pattern that I want. I have the pattern I want on my soap. Make sure it's on there pretty snug. And I'm now going to take a felting needle. Since I have this kind of wide, I'm actually gonna be using a 3-pronged felting needle. And I'm just going to start gently pushing it into the soap. Second way to incorporate a fun design or something into your felted soap is during the actual felting process. The first thing I'm going to do is felt the main part on. So I've got all of my felt wrapped around. I have some fresh hot water. And I'm going to get to felting. I have some initial felting done. This is well on its way to being ready, but you can see it's still a little thick and malleable here. So now I'm ready to put on my piece of fun. You can do all kinds of different designs. You could buy or make a felted star or some other kind of pattern. You could get really fancy with it, but today I'm just going with a pretty basic one. And the reason I'm not putting this on right away when I first start is that I don't, during the felting, want this to start, bleeding isn't the right word because it's not dye, but start fading out into everything else. I want this to stay as a pretty clear, distinct pattern. I'm smoothing this in as I go. I don't have a pattern in mind, I'm just playing around. I'm also being careful as I pat this in to not move the other felt around too much because, you know, like we said, it is still fairly movable and I don't want to be negatively impacting that. All right. Kind of got a nifty pattern there, and we're gonna go ahead and felt this all the rest of the way. And as always, we're gonna tuck this in nice and tight. Start fairly gently right over the areas that I added the new felt, the wool roving, because I really don't want those to start moving. The more light colored stocking you use, the easier it will be to see patterns and things through, so you can be careful about where you are rubbing. And now I'm just gonna get a little bit more vigorous all the way around. Now that I feel like my pattern has latched on to its planned location. Our design is exactly where we wanted it, but I'm still seeing a little movement here. So I'm gonna get it back in the stocking and get it just a little bit more tightly on there. And here we are. We have a fun, beautiful bar of felted soap with a neat design. And thank you for spending this time with me designing some fun felted soaps. I really enjoyed it and I hope you did too. This is a great project to do by yourself or with the kids, just for fun. So if you didn't, like I said up top, make sure you check out the video that we posted a week or two about the actual felting process, so you know the initial part of the thing here. And then while you're getting ready to watch that video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you get notified of all the other great stuff we have coming your way. Thank you again, and we will see you next time up here at the Minnesota Homestead.